All right, last one. All right, this is actually from an HSC question, 2014. Back when people used to still download music, apparently. I guess we're all streaming now, so. All right, so we're looking at these data that has been recorded and grouped into classes, and we displayed it in a cumulative frequency histogram. So remember a few things. The cumulative aspect is saying it's like a running total, right? So that means that the maximum number here, if you look at this graph, let's just zoom in, it looks like it goes up one tick, and each of these ticks is 10. So it looks like the total is 160, because that last column that represented, that's kind of how long all of them took, right? They all took less than 50 seconds. So what we do and what we're being asked is we want to find the median download time. Okay, so that's the question over here. We want to find the median download time. How are we going to go about doing that? Well, this is something we need to do based off this cumulative frequency histogram, right? We actually need to know, okay, if there's 160 total values, where would the median occur? Now, typically, remember we had that n plus 1 on 2 formula, right? But it's a bit tricky in this case to do that because, well, I mean, if we did do that calculation, which is 80.5, it's a little bit tricky to work on such a small scale because, well, these ticks are going up by 10, right? So what we tend to do is that to find the median, we tend to estimate, and we're happy for you to just to take half of the total, right? So it's just an estimate, and so we're just taking half of the total, and that's going to be the 80th position. That's where we're going to say the median occurs, right? So what I need to do now is I go to my graph, and I look at something like, okay, where's 80 going to occur? Well, if each of these ticks is 10, 50, 60, 70, 80, that's over here. Hello, 80. Okay, so I've marked in the 80 there now, right? Well, what can I do with that? Well, before I keep going, what I need to do is I need to put our cumulative frequency polygon, often called an ogive or ogive or ogive, right? And the way you construct that is that you take your cumulative frequency histogram and you connect it from this bottom left corner up to where the graph ends there, that top right corner, and you kind of keep going ahead and doing this all the way, okay? Once you've done that, then what we can do, let's use a different color, is I can take my ruler, yeah, I got a highlighter, that would be good. And so we now just go ahead and rule all the way across to where it hits the red line, and then we drop it down, and we see what value it occurs at, and it looks like it occurs at 40 seconds there, okay? So the median time, download time would be 40 seconds. Something to consider is that if it occurs between two other values, so if you're in between the two columns, you may need to take the average for that, okay? So that's just something to consider. So that is how we can look at measure central tendency through graphical and just calculation-based problems.